What's up, everybody? We're throwing it back with a little bit of the reality TV throwback from back in the day. You know, we can change up things and all that, titles and such. But look, we're in a circle. Look at that, isn't that? Whoa. Just like, they putting us in the confessionals next. I don't know if we're ready for all that. I don't know if we got the viciousness quite of Miss New York like that, but like we definitely be spitting some fire in the confessional.
A little bit.
Just tiny bit.
Not fire.
But as you can kind of tell by the background and the attire and stuff, we will be talking about the first two episodes of Flavor of Love. We've been watching the first season back, and it is, something that we find fondly, and I feel like a lot of people, this reality era was huge back in the day. Like it was, you literally could turn on a whole day on VH1 and the whole thing be playing of multiple different seasons, multiple different shows, and this is touching the surface of what this could bring.
So you could start off on one show, not know who this character is, and by the end of the day, you've seen him on 4 shows, and you're like, yo, that's my guy.
Mm-hmm. That's the one, and it is crazy to see the spinoffs of the abilities and just the way it's shot and just the differences between now and then, and just so leaning into everything as much as outlandish as possible, and really no fear of any of this cancel culture or any. It was just people just free willing, doing whatever they want whenever they want, and it's wild to see back.
It was literally reality before everybody started judging everyone and commenting.
It is very, very wild to see, but just kind of running it down. SOS Rampage down in the corner over here, yeah, boy, over here, and then over on that side.
Yes, so West Farmer Farm.
And as we will do, we will kind of run through the episodes very briefly. We're not going to die. I'm gonna throw this out there. Anybody that dives deep into this, you got a big heart. You got a lot of patience. This is meant to be consumed in this kind of light, in my opinion. Of you got it on the background. You kind of just hanging out with your friends as we've been doing, watching it and just joking around. Clowning on the things that are happening on the screen. Like it's not. This isn't the analytical breakdown. I don't know if there's a site out there and the people out there that do it. More power to you. Good job. That's just not the way that I consumed this.
Half the time
I consumed this with the TV on the left and my PlayStation on the right, and just even as a child.
Half the time we're watching this, I'm like, what is Flav wearing? That's where half
you can see in the background.
I mean, no,
he's got a full pink suit.
No, that's a normal outfit. Flav will go on a safari and he'll be dressed like a scuba diver. Like it's normal. He's just like, what I decided to wear today. Flavor. There it goes again.
He's the epitome. I know that Dave Chappelle ripped off of the Making the Band and P Diddy, but like I know he saw some of Flavor of Love, and that's where some of that skit was from as well. Like especially him and the butler. Like I could definitely see Flav being like, "I'm tired, Big Rick, carry me," and just him hopping up in his arms.
I can see that, yeah.
But we'll get into the episode a little bit. The narrator in the background, you had mentioned like the Pimp My Ride guy before we started shooting. I mean, that's the perfect example. Maybe they hired the same guy. I don't know, but man's with the deep bass voice that I just whoa, where'd that come from?
Yeah. The narrator low key be cracking jokes too.
He knows what he's doing.
He's saying some sly stuff.
And not just that, I mean, we'll get into it later on because I don't think it quite happens in the first couple episodes, but later on in the season, not just them, the entire crew take liberties with some of these women as far as when they go on the screen and just the things that they do, the sound effects, just everything. They were just... Whoever was in the back was feeling themselves.
When they speak, they were just letting them go, and they were like, yep, no, get it all out. And then
I know, this is gold. So
yeah,
he comes in after this narration, after him describing, you know, what he's been through, the reality shows he'd been on in the past, basically why we know him to be him. I'll be honest with you, just to give a little bit of background, I knew him from Public Enemy. I didn't know about the Surreal Life before Flavor of Love. I didn't know about Bridget. I had no idea about. This was kind of my first excursion into reality TV. So this is, you know, I had no idea about all the other stuff.
I knew about Flav from Public Enemy. I only knew Fight the Power because it was on video games. And like I was introduced to Flav from reality TV, but it was the Surreal Life. And then I saw him on Flavor of Love. So my reaction to Flavor, God. My reaction to Flav on Surreal Life was how your reaction to him was on Flavor of Love.
Okay. I mean, I could definitely see that. Because like I said, I had not even watched back. Is he a toned down version of Flav? Did Surreal Life just let him do, like, is this Flav in front of the camera all the time, or is this
Flav?
So he just took over the season, I would assume, when he was there.
Yo, we got to get this guy on another show. Yeah.
Yeah. Okay.
Flav. It's crazy that like he was famous for so long and he was just like kind of in the background, and then they put him in front of the camera, and it was just like, yo, Flavor Flav not just like the super hype man, like he's like super funny and charismatic.
Because I mean, that's got to be it at this point. Because I mean, if you look at the background of all these women that were there, all of them half of his age, all of them, you know, had to be the charisma. I mean, a lot of them, and this is where we took back to it, and we're getting into the girls now a little bit more.
Yeah. I mean,
a lot of them are very honest and upfront about the fact that Flav has money. They're not upset that he's got money, and it's definitely a beneficial thing for them. There are some that are open that just say, I want him for his money, and then there are some that are like, yeah, no, it's cool, he got money.
Yeah,
but none of them are like, oh no, we're not here for that.
They all acknowledge it.
No. So like that's kind of nice to see in an honest way of like, yes, not all of them are there 100% for that, but they acknowledge of like, oh, this man could set me up. This could be our house. This is nice.
Some of them do have that mentality.
Yeah, no, 100%. And you know, once again, we'll get into that when we get into later. Just his whole entrance and the dance is everything that you would expect out of the first entrance of Flav. I mean, man's breaking it down. Girls losing it when he, screaming. Got one crying when he comes up to them. Like it's just too much. Yeah, and I don't think he's ever had that before. Like he claims that this is his road life all the time. I believe it in a way.
I think he's had it like that before and for a long time, but he never had a room full of women that were there specifically for him, and he's doing this thing and they're all going. That was on a different level.
Right. Then they go upstairs and they try to pick out their beds. You know, the classic fight for the beds as you do in all reality shows.
Of course.
Come down and we do the classic name ceremony from Flav. This man's, I don't know how many drinks he had before said. I don't know how many things he smoked before.
And how many drinks would you have if you had to come up with, like, I don't know, 15 to 20 names for 15 to 20 women that you just met right then and there?
And then there were some of them that you could tell because he just took such a long pause on some of them that they were like, oh, I'm not making it. I'm not making it. He can't even think of a name for me. This is not good.
Oh, man, but some of those names just came out right away before they even got a chance to blink.
Mm-hmm. Some of them didn't make sense and came out before they blinked, but some of them just came with like, this is what I'm about. And they were like,
baloney. I like your skin tone. She's like, what?
Like one of the classic ones that, obviously one of the classic ones like that she scoffed at her name and literally is known from this from now on is Pumpkin. Pumpkin, when she's named Pumpkin, she's like, Pumpkin? What? But now, if you see Pumpkin, that's I don't know your name. You Pumpkin.
I saw it recently when she got eliminated. We'll get there.
Yeah, no, we yes, obviously, but not off the cuff, no BB knowing her like that. If it's
that's Pumpkin.
Oh, so
yeah, that's dog. Like he literally named y'all. That's Red Oyster.
So, and going from that, we will kind of go off of the name that we're going to do a little segment, and it's going to be the first segment. We'll do it on these different reality shows to see where Farm's head is at, because I don't even know if I could do some of these. We'll start with the basics, and we're just going to go down the list of the ones that I feel like you obviously will remember.
Yeah.
So, Hoops. Yes.
Yes.
We know New York.
Yes.
We know Hottie.
Hottie. That's the okay. Yeah.
Mm-hmm. That's bicycle. Bicycle noise. Yes.
Yes.
We know Goldie.
Yes.
Smiley.
Yes.
Red Oyster, you said.
Yes.
I think this is when we're going to start getting harder. Sweetie.
Yes, I know her.
Peaches.
No.
I don't know her. Sirius.
I don't know her.
Wow. Okay. Georgia.
I don't know her.
Rain.
I don't know her.
Dimples.
I don't know her.
Apples.
I don't know her.
Miss Latin.
I've heard of her, but I don't think we've ever been in the same room at the same time.
Bubbles with a Z.
I don't know her.
Shells with a Z.
I don't know her.
Smokey.
I don't know her.
and not Chris Tucker. Oh, Jesus Christ.
Yeah.
Picasso.
There's more?
There's two more. Picasso.
I don't know her.
Cherry.
Don't know her.
You got like 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11. You knew less than half of the cast.
Flavor Flav.
And I'm sure he did too.
Mm-hmm.
And I'm sure that gives away a lot of...
pick up the phone.
A lot of them were put in this group setting as far as like there were all group dates, and it's really, the ones that stood out were, the ones that you remember, and the other ones really tried to. I know in particular one that I'm reminded of, and everybody is reminded of, is Picasso, talking about, handling her business with herself. And everybody looked at her like a weirdo, and it's like, yeah, you shot yourself in the foot a little bit there, but you tried, you tried to put yourself out there. A lot of these women, and you see this going forward, and we'll talk about it later on, of like, and I think it's mentioned in the second season that he didn't pick any of them, I don't think. I think he was out of it. I think he just, he showed up and bam, 20 women are here. I think the second season, if I remember correctly, he gets to, pick and choose a little bit. That's why you have a lot of these.
That's probably because of the 2 or 3 that were on other reality shows that lied to him, and he's like, now I got to get a little bit more into this.
And as well as, and I'm going to be the one to say it, and I'm going to try not to offend anybody here, but the people, the Caucasian females that obviously did not know too much about Flav, what he brought, and what this environment was. AKA, perfect example, and she ends up making it far. Pumpkin. Pumpkin had no idea what was happening, and she's very vocal about it, and we'll talk about it in later episodes of, she is just... picked right off the farm, apparently, right out of Kansas or wherever she's from, and she has no idea about anything Public Enemy or anything.
That's hilarious.
Yeah, but it shows, and a lot of those ones that got eliminated early, you know, they really, the uncomfortableness showed very much so, and it's not. And Flav was very open with like, yo, just not feeling that, like, just kind of like mad love, respect for all of y'all, but not just nah.
It's gonna be Flav no matter what.
Mm-hmm. So
that's the one thing I've learned through the show is like Flav is who he says he is, and that's always who he is.
Yeah, and it really goes to show kind of everything was chosen before everything happened. I mean, Goldie literally got smashed and threw up in the living room. Still didn't get eliminated. I don't even think she ever ended up talking to him. I think she just ended up throwing up, if I remember correctly. Maybe talked to him like a little bitty bit, but like those first 5 were gone. Basically, he had that in mind. He knew what was going to happen.
Yeah. Yeah, you got to. That's the only way you can go into that first night.
Mm-hmm. Going into the second day is when we kind of get in, and the second episode is when we kind of get a little bit more of the drama we get that you're kind of used to. We get more just to bring everybody up to speed as well. For people keeping track at home, eliminated in the first episode, Bubbles with a Z, Shells with a Z, Smokey, Picasso, and Cherry. So just to keep everybody up to speed. That's probably why you don't remember any of them like that.
Yeah, that's
good on you for putting yourselves up. Huh?
That sounded like a DMX lyric.
Oh my god. But going into that second episode, when we start getting a little bit more of the drama filled, we were kind of in a little bit of a shouting match with New York and basically everybody, because New York's being New York.
Yeah.
I have to say, just watching it back, just one of the best characters, because she knows she's a character. And she kind of even says it. Like, she's playing a gimmick. And it's working for her, and it's great, and it's kind of it's hilarious to watch.
Like, you keep saying it,
because a lot of them don't get.
You keep saying it, but it's true. She would have been perfect for the wrestling business because, like, she's herself, but she turns it up when she wants to, and then you can't tell when she's being the character or when she's being real.
So you can tell a little bit. It's just the over dramatic parts are like you can tell that's when like she's showing herself.
I mean, I think the girls can't tell because it was happening live in front of them.
Yeah, so they were just like besmirched as to what was happening.
Exactly.
So,
yeah, she runs that show.
And she's the one that you remember, and it's a big reason why she got the spinoff and why she is the way she is, and she'll be back in other forms and other ways and multiple other shows, and I mean she earned her spot. I mean she earned her keep.
Yeah.
So, and in particular in this episode, she gets into it with Rain. That's why I'm surprised you didn't remember her name. Rain was the one that was screaming at her.
Like, no one
bloody murder screaming at her in the car.
Ah, that was Rain. Okay, I did not remember her name. Okay.
Yeah, that was a shrill voice and scary, scary, scary voice.
Yeah. New York had a calm voice though.
I mean, because she knows her character. She's not playing. She's just taking everything in, taking deep breaths, and just ready to fire back.
Yeah.
But that's what made also getting caught in that fire was Pumpkin also got caught in that fire, and that led to her being very distraught after and being in tears and going over to Flav. This is the first time of the season where this happens. This is something that the girls all love to do. Specifically, New York is a classic one that loves to do this all the time, of getting upset and finding Flav. I need you right now. Please come over here. Ah. But yeah, she told Pumpkin to get a facelift, which, both of them, their whole thing to each other, and maybe this is just an early 2000s thing, both of them with each other are like, you're a man. No, you're a man. Maybe you need to get your Adam's apple checked. Maybe you need to go get a facelift. Like, yo, what? Y'all so savage against each other. Like, why is everybody a man?
New York will call someone a lesbian in a second.
Like, I don't understand. Like, it's
savage, man.
It's wild.
Yeah.
But going forward as well, they all confront Miss Latin, who apparently has a boyfriend that they had overheard her talking to, and she had talking to, of all people, brought it up to New York, which this is not the first time that this happens. They all do this where they're like, hey, let's talk to New York about stuff. That's you're just, she's going to use that. Yeah. And use it well against you, and will tell you to your face, like, I'm gonna go tell Flav right now. I'm telling you.
She's done it to the other girls, and then bragged to you about what she's gonna do, and she soaks it up like a sponge.
Mm-hmm. Jay just takes all the information. I'm here for you. I'm here for you, baby doll. Come here. What you need? All right, I got you. But then they all kind of gang up to get her to confront Flav and like tell him and stuff like that, and she ends up being eliminated because of that, which makes sense. I mean, she was with a man like right before she came on the show, but I mean, Flav was even honest saying like, yo, that was real competition for y'all. If that wasn't the case, y'all would have had this is something here. So there are certain ones that I don't know if Mans is trying to set himself up for later if things don't work out with the one you see. But like, he definitely sends some really nice send-offs to some, which is good to see. But like, it's more than nice of a send-off being like, hey, yo, girl, I'm gonna keep your number. Like, I'm just saying, I'm feeling you like that still. But we can't do that right now. You ain't the winner, you see, but like, you can hang around.
Yeah. I don't know what's going to be going on in a year and a half, so.
So just keep my number. That's all. And then as well, not just her, but Rain also got eliminated because of, the scrapping and stuff like that. And she was very, very emotional when she got eliminated. This was the one the entire time that even in the first episode was saying like how much she loved Flav's music and knew everything about him, and was like a little on the obsessive side, but like actually showed that she was here for not just kind of the money, not just like she was feeling him. So the fact that like even she mentioned like a New York stay that she got eliminated was kind of like she was real mad. There were some hurt feelings there.
Definitely.
So, as well, the other girls, Georgia, Dimples, and Apples, also got eliminated. All those famous ones that Farm remembered so well.
Man, I love those Georgia Dimples.
Anything from those first two episodes that you want to follow up with?
Nah, man, New York is crazy, and all the other women on this show better watch out because she's there.
She's there, and she's not going nowhere, and she'll tell you. She's letting y'all know. She's putting y'all on blast that she's not going nowhere.
Let this message from the future find its way to the past and warn them, because they need all the help they can get, even if it's a message from the future that won't find them.
They will never find them, and we
did our part.
We did our part, and I mean, let's be honest, knowing how everything kind of turns out, did you want to win anyway? I mean, there had to be multiple renditions, and they knew what they was doing here. This was not going to be a one and done. VH1, especially when the ratings came, flooding in, that cash cow, they weren't going to ever cut this off until they, had to.
They would have just gave Flav and the winner their own show after this if there was no Flavor of Love. They would have kept the Flav train going.
Flav relationship.
Yeah, see? I'm sure it exists somewhere.
In some alternate universe. But that also means that in some alternate universe, we're talking about that show as well. But with that being said, we are going to cut this off and bid y'all adieu with this episode. We'll come back with episodes 3 and 4 And then 5 and 6 and 7 and 8 and all that stuff until we hit the end. Bang, boom. Everybody have a good day. Peace.